Hey there, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Conscious Counsel podcast with your host, Corey Sterling. That's me, what's up? We're always here for the same reason. It's you and me, the two of us hanging out, and my promise to you is to give you all the fun, juicy, easy, light tips and tricks to protect and grow your wellness business with both confidence and clarity. And for this week's episode, you and I, we're just chilling. We're having a really, really good time. And I have got a fun story for you, which answers one of the most consistent questions that I have ever been asked in my career as a lawyer. And get ready, because there is going to be the upward intonation. And today's episode is called, "What Should I Put in My Contract?" I also raise my head and my eyebrows when I say it because I'm trying so hard to emphasize the up-talking at the end of the question. But today's episode is called, "What Do I Put in My Contract?" What do I put in my contract? And the reason why this is such an interesting topic and why it matters so much is because, as I've expressed, in previous episodes, your legal position is what's going to protect you. And your legal position is going to be contained within your contract, whatever specific contract that is that you have. And then the content of that contract is going to determine your legal position. So all of these things are really, really interconnected. And I have spent so much time having fun, chatting with amazing health and wellness entrepreneurs to explain to them the answer to the question, what needs to be in my contract? And I can't tell you just yet. I gotta, work in the episode a little bit more before I give you all the juice. But what's going to happen in this episode is I'm going to explain a little bit this question and how it makes sense to me. And as always, it's story time. So I hope you got that snack ready. I don't know if that's your popcorn. I don't know if that's your peanut butter. I don't know if that's your oatmeal. I don't know if you can tell that I'm projecting all of my favorite snacks onto you. But whatever snack you have, get ready and enjoy it because we're just chilling and I want to share my experiences and my stories with you so that you have the confidence and the clarity to grow your business and to feel amazing with it. So to answer the question generally, and I have a lawyer joke that I make. Some people are dads, so they have dad jokes, right? And people are always like, "Oh, what's your best dad joke?" Or "Here's a dad joke." I'm like, well, I'm not a dad, so I don't really get it. But I do have a lawyer joke for you. Knock, knock. No, it's not a knock, knock joke. But the joke is that the answer that a lawyer is going to say to everything is that it depends. So if the question is, what needs to be in my contract? The answer is going to be, it depends. And what it really is going to depend on is what sort of relationship you want to create, what's important to you, what the design of your business is, how your business model operates, how much trust you have in your clients, in your customers, in your team, in everything. The answer is that it depends of what should be in my contract. But I went through this story recently, and to me, it highlighted a lot of the more consistent questions that I'll get from clients when I'm helping them get clarity on what needs to be included in their agreements or their contracts. And the reason why it depends is because everyone has different comfort levels, everyone has different preferences, and everyone has different expectations. So one part that's included in all of the agreements that we have at Conscious Counsel is a section for expectations. And this is where we really empower our clients to choose, hey, what are you expecting from the people you're working with? Maybe showing up on time is something that's really important to you. Maybe doing a great job is more important than showing up on time. And you can choose which one that is because you can decide what the expectations are. Also, when it comes to your business model, it's really, really important. And this is why customized agreements are so important. But when you have your business model, you have to know how your business operates. And you have to know what your cash flow looks like, and you have to know when you get paid and how much you get paid so that when you are incurring other expenses or hiring more people, that you can organize and coordinate all of the payments and the timings of everything so that it fits you perfectly and your business perfectly so that you're never in stress. And this is going to lead to my story that I want to share with you, which is a really, really interesting one that sort of illuminates these ideas of there's no right or wrong thing of what you want to put into a contract, but what matters is what is your business model? What are the things that are most important to you? And what does that look like? So I have a client who has a successful Pilates studio on the West Coast of the United States, and they are getting ready to run a retreat. So this is really exciting. It's their first retreat that they're running for their studio, and they have the idea that they want to bring on a Pilates celebrity. Now I'm thinking to my best Scrabble abilities, if I were to combine Pilates and celebrity, how did I do? Yeah, okay, we'll take it. I don't know what the score letter would be for celebrity, but they were bringing a Pilates celebrity on the retreat in addition to sell, because they weren't just marketing the people who were the core customers of their studio. They really, really want to build a community of Pilates enthusiasts. So they brought a very, very famous and well-known and respected Pilates professional to come along with. And I was brought in specifically. The agreements that we did for this client was we've done all of their studio agreements. So the membership, the privacy policy, the social media, the employee agreements, all of that sort of stuff. But now we did the retreat waiver and the retreat participant agreement. But my client asked me for help in coming up with a document for the relationship that they have with this particular Pilates celebrity who they're bringing on the retreat. And this will apply to you and your business anytime that you're doing a collaboration and bringing someone in. So I called it a retreat collaboration agreement. And essentially, the goal of the agreement, and what we always want to do at any time in law, is we want to understand what relationship we're solving for. And in that particular relationship, we want to communicate expectations openly and honestly. That's always the goal. And we want to be at industry-specific best standards, and we want to have complete expectations, clarity, guarantees, so that nothing is left up to question, that there can be no issue on what all of the triggering events are going to be for the relationship. Now, this was a unique situation because my client was getting ready to pay a lot of money to have this celebrity come on their retreat. And they sort of just spoke to me before, and they're like, hey, Corey, we love the other documents that we've done. The retreat waiver looks great. It includes all the different activities we're doing. And the retreat participant agreement looks great in terms of the deposit and what we have. But I'm not sure about how to negotiate with this person. What should be in the contract? Hence, we come to the topic of this episode. And it was a really, really fascinating conversation for me because I said, okay, cool. Well, before we figure out what should be in that contract, let's figure out what are the most important things for you and your business and what expectations do you have of this person. So as an example, are you expecting this person to promote the retreat? Right? Are you just paying for their name and you do all of the marketing? Or are you also bringing them on, but expecting for them to market and share this on social media, which is very, very real? Secondly, how much are you paying this person? Are you paying them? Are you just paying their flight and their accommodation at the retreat? Or are you going to be paying them money in addition to that? Or are you not paying them anything? What does that look like? If they bring in any sales, if they make sales through their own avenues, do they get a particular percentage, and what does that look like? And as we got into it, it was clear that my client hadn't really thought through these questions. And that's why I was really, really grateful that we had the opportunity to have the conversation, because there was a chance to go through it and actually think like, hey, does this relationship work for me? And more importantly, and this is the clarifying point that I want everyone to take home from this, is under what conditions does this relationship work for me? And what I noticed so many times in working with my clients who have different commercial relationships and are doing different things, either with teachers at their studios or clients or joint ventures or whatever it is that they're taking care of and doing, nothing has to be a certain way. And the moment that I said to this client, I was like, hey, does this make sense for you based on how much you're getting paid and how much you're charging and what this person might be giving you and what they're not doing? Do you have to bring this person along? And I think just even asking that question was an opportunity for the business owner to step back and think about things. And then from that point, once I gave the client permission to think about if they really needed this or if it was just an idea that they had, that they stuck to, that they kept following, that they wouldn't give up on, Did they really want this? And then more importantly, and way more importantly, and what we spent most of the call figuring out was, okay, cool. What are the terms that will make this relationship work for them? So for example, in that conversation, what we figured out, okay, cool. If they're going to bring the Pilates celebrity on to the retreat, awesome. But these are the conditions. So one is the person has to promote on social media. Two, there's an expectation that they're going to sell. And we came up with a different tiered selling scheme so that if they bring 2 people, they get a certain percentage. If they bring 3 people, they get a certain percentage. And obviously incentivizing as much as possible this person to market and promote the event themselves. Also, what other responsibilities were included other than them just teaching classes on the retreat and participating was really important. And then also coming up with clauses of like, what happens if they have to back out, or what happens if they get sick, or what happens if they can't make it. And I'm so grateful that I had the chance to go through this exercise with the client. And again, it really was illuminating to me because I saw like, if I didn't speak to this person and they didn't sign up to work with us, she was going to pay tens of thousands of dollars, like just transfer tens of thousands of dollars without thinking about any of these questions. And I just want to say that I get it. I understand that not all of us have worked with a lawyer before, and a lot of us have big dreams and amazing visions and things that we want to create. And I am the biggest advocate for you to have that. I want you to have all of those things, but also I want you to think about what needs to be present in an agreement for that agreement and contract to work for you. So I hope that you enjoyed that story. And in the end, we came up with a very, very clear term sheet. We're like, cool, this is what works for us. Take it or leave it. And we're still waiting to hear back. But just that process of figuring out, cool, this only makes sense for my business if A, B, C, D, E, F happens. And if it doesn't, you're amazing. I'm your biggest fan, but it doesn't make sense to bring you on the retreat. So again, if the question is what needs to be in a contract, what should I include? The answer is going to be it depends, and it depends on a lot of things, and all of them are going to be specific to you and your business. And that's why I'm such an advocate and fan and proponent, and I've seen so much success with my clients having customized industry-specific agreements, because you can't take a template and figure out all of these things. You have to work with someone who understands, who's been there before, who understands your business and what you're creating, and puts you in a position to succeed. And even just the amount that this person was going to pay and was going to lose, because it was not a good arrangement for them, I was like, cool, this makes perfect sense. This is why I do what I do, and we're doing the right thing. So I hope this answers your question in terms of what needs to be in a contract. Again, this applies to all the different relationships that you have and that you may have, whether it relates to your employees, studio membership, health coaching, an online course or an online program, an online community, whatever it is that it looks like. The most important thing is that you have terms that reflect the relationship you want to have, that are built around how your business and your business model operates, and ultimately reflect the ethos and the mentality and the vibe and the energy and the love that you want to have for your business. And at Conscious Counsel, it's totally our pleasure to be able to support you with this. That's why what I'm very happy to do, in the show notes, we're leaving a link to book a free consultation call with someone from our team. Would love to support you. Just hop on a call, tell us what's going on. We'll see if it's a fit and if we're able to support you. And there's one other thing that I want you to do for me, and it's really important. You have to remember that whatever you do, you have to work with a lawyer who loves you. Peace.